This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last few days, like a few components like HDFS and Scoop, what we did, we understand what is the HDFS architecture. We understand how the HDFS file system work and how to load the data into HDFS file system with the help of the HDFS commands. That's we have seen. Later, we have used a component called Scoop to import the data from RDBMS system to HDFS. So for whatever we did, it is a file system. It is a file system. We loaded the data into file system with the help of the file system commands. Like it can be ls, it can be mkdir, it can be cat, it can be tail, whatever the commands we did in the file system. We don't have so far a table structure, correct? We have not created any table structure for any data. Yes or no? Whatever the data we
Yes.
have loaded, we loaded into a file system. Then in the file system, we used to see that this is a part file, this is that file, this is this file, and we used to see. We created a folders and we created files and we loaded the data also in the form of files. Okay, so here now what we are going to do, we are going to provide a structure. We are going to provide a structure to these HDFS data. What we do, let's assume that we have loaded some orders data, we have loaded some categories data, we have loaded some departments data, correct? But we just loaded into the file system. We haven't do any kind of analysis. We haven't do any kind of analysis, correct? We didn't do anything like get top 10 customers, get revenue per day. So we didn't do that kind of analysis, correct? To do that kind of
Yes,
analysis,
I
what we need to do? To do that kind of analysis, we should have some kind of a system. We should have some kind of system where where we have to provide a structure. On top of that, we will do some kind of queries we will write. To write some queries, we should have a structure. We should have a structure. That structure we will provide with the help of the Hive. With the help of the Hive. What is a Hive? Apache Hive. What is the Hive? Hive is a data warehousing system on top of HDFS. Simple statement. A Hive is a data warehousing system on top of HDFS to provide a structure on HDFS data. What is a Hive?
it is a data warehousing system on top of HDFS.
It's a data warehousing system on top of HDFS.
HDFS. And provide
On top of
structure on
HDFS.
HDFS data.
Yes.
Like
Whatever
the
the data you
structure.
have there in the HDFS, right? We will provide the structure for that. How the Hive looks or how the Hive works. Okay. When I say it's a data warehousing system, when I say it's a data warehousing system, it means this component we will use for OLAP. Can anyone tell me what is the OLAP?
Online analytical processing.
Online analytic processing. And there is something called OLTP.
Online
Transaction processing.
Transaction processing. What is the difference between these two?
Analytical seems to be a kind of historical data, and transactional, like it is actually data that we are getting on a daily basis.
Okay. So analysis data is something like we'll only do analysis kind of. What is the top 10 customers? What is the customer pattern? What is the most selling category? Or what is the revenue for last 6 months? how we can improve the business. Such kind of analysis we do. When it comes to OLTP transactions, customer purchase details, customer transaction details, I have created new login, new customer is joined, some renewals, I changed my password, I updated my password, I deleted the information. Such kind of transactional information will be in a OLTP database. Such kind of analysis database will be there in the OLTP. This OLTP, whatever the data collected by OLTP data only will be used for OLAP. Whatever the data we'll collect here, that data only we use for the OLAP. Simply says that OLTP has the creation, deletion, updation, such kind of commands we'll use, like a DML commands. When it comes to OLAP, will not have updates and deletes. Most of the time we will be having just a querying analysis queries. Okay, so Hive is OLAP system, but it is turning into OLTP. It is turning into OLTP, that we will see. Okay, first try to understand what is the Hive. Okay, now can anyone tell me what is the Hive? What is the Hive?
The data warehousing system on top of the HDFS and provides structured data of the information present inside the HDFS.
Yes, it means whatever the data we loaded, on top of that data we will provide a structure. It means, let's say I have one file in the HDFS. I have a file. So we have seen a comma separated files and pipe separated files earlier. For that structured data files, we will create a table. Okay, so to create a table, the Hive has some kind of syntax, similar kind of SQL syntax. It uses the SQL. Like language we will call HQL, Hive Query Language. To do analysis, such kind of analysis, we use HQL, Hive Query Language, which is similar to SQL. Okay, let me show you one PPT. So let me explain from there. Any questions so far? Any questions?
Neha, can we load semi-structured and unstructured data also in Hive table?
Okay, when you say semi-structure and structure, so what type of data you are saying is a semi-structure?
Semi-structures that could be XML, JSON
Yes, we can load
in Hive tables.
XML. Yes, we can load into Hive tables. To load into Hive tables, we have to use a special kind of libraries. We will call those libraries SERDE. There is something called SERDE, SERDE, SERDE.
Okay.
We can load XMLs, we can load JSON into Hive tables, but we have to use SERDE. We have to use respective SERDE, JSON SERDE, XML SERDE, whatever the SERDE you want. Okay, but we will see that. There is a long way to go. We'll see that. Yeah, let's try to understand this. Before Hive, whatever the data we load into HDFS, if we need to process, we were using something called MapReduce. Okay, the problem with the MapReduce is, so whatever this, like what is the top 10 customers, what is the top 10 products, what is the revenue for daily revenue. So that kind of analysis to do, we used to use the programming language called MapReduce. So here, the problem with the MapReduce is it is a Java based code. We have to write a very lengthy programs. A simple program, I think I have shown you earlier also. Some kind of lengthy program we have to write. Let me show you once again. Such kind of lengthy program we have to write. I'll show you a simple program here. This is a simple word frequency program. Word frequency or word count program. Word count in the means how many words are there in the file, and suppose if the repeated words are there, we need to find the count. Suppose Apache came 10 times, we have to say Apache 10 times. Hadoop 5 times, so we have to say Hadoop 5 times in the whole file. It's a simple program actually. To do that simple program, we have to write this much big code. We have to write this much big code. We have to write this much different parts of the code we have to write. So people are from SQL background, they're not actually comfortable with the Java. They're not actually comfortable with the Java, and they're little they used to feel like it's difficult to I mean write or develop this code. They used to feel this is very difficult to do that. So to avoid that, the Hive came into picture. The Hive has been introduced by Facebook. It is a Facebook product. This has been developed at the Facebook. Facebook has the SQL developers. What they have done, they have created a wrapper and SQL wrapper. In the background, it generates, actually uses MapReduce as the framework to process. We write the select query. Let's say I will write a query like select star from this table where employee salary is greater than 10,000. The background, it uses the MapReduce program to process it. You really no need to write a MapReduce program. You just need to write your SQL query, and the background, it uses the MapReduce code, like how you did the scoop, similar kind of thing. Okay, but here in the scoop, it generates the Java code, but here there won't be any code generations. It will be at the background. Okay, now look at here. Why we need the high level languages like Hadoop is a great large data processing, but build Java programs for everything in the verbose and slow. Not everyone wants to or can learn the Java code, right? So they have come up with some components called Hive and Pig to process the data. In the older days, these are the components came to alternate to Hive. Sorry, to alternate to Spark MapReduce. So Hive is nothing but HQL language. It is similar to SQL. Similarly, Pig is like a component from the Yahoo, and it also uses the process the data which is there in HDFS. And but it is a kind of Latin script. There is something called Pig Latin script we call. It's a data flow language. We'll talk that later. Okay. Next, what is Hive? Apache Hive is a data warehouse system built on top of the Hadoop. It is used to query with the help of the queries. We will manage large data sets and residing in the distributed storage, which is nothing but HDFS. Okay, it provides the mechanism to a project provide a structure onto the data on Hadoop and query the data using the SQL-like language, which is HQL. Are you guys able to follow what I'm trying to say here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Hadoop provides a massive scale out and fault tolerant capabilities. Similar kind of capabilities only will be there in Hive also. And when it comes to, because of the Hive, your data summarization, ad hoc queries are very easy. It is a batch processing system. It is not a streaming. Your Hive is like you will write a query and you will get the data. It's a batch process. Any questions so far about the Hive? Any queries? Okay, move on. Why Hive? Why should I go with the Hive? So whoever is SQL developers or non-Java programming developers, MapReduce was not comfortable. and whoever is comfortable with the SQL query kind of language, SQL kind of language. So they also want to process the data which is there in Hadoop. They need some kind of interface. So that interface is the Hive. So user need not to write a big MapReduce programs, and this is for the kind of SQL people, and easy also. It's easy to maintain, right? If you have a data in the table, why actually you will store the data in the form of tables and table structure? Easy to access, easy to maintain, so easily understand. That is a purpose of creating tables. That is the purpose of creating tables, right? Whether no matter whether it's a RDBMS or some other NoSQL databases, the purpose of the keeping data into tables is easy access, easy maintenance, easy query. Otherwise, they could have keep it to the flat files. Okay. So whatever the data you load into Hive, or whatever the data you process and load into the Hive, ultimately that will go into HDFS. Ultimately, that will go into HDFS. We need to remember this point. Without HDFS, there is no Hive. HDFS should be there on top of Hive. I mean, Hadoop services should be there, then only Hive. You can use S3. If you are using cloud, you can use the S3 services, or you can use the HDFS services. But Hadoop should be running. Hadoop up and running. You cannot Hive alone, you cannot run. Hive alone, you cannot run. Okay. What is the uses of Hive? What is the uses of
Ravi,
Hive?
can you elaborate that one, the last statement which you told again?
Which statement? Store data into
Yes.
HDFS file. That's one.
Yeah,
Nothing to elaborate.
you told
Suppose
like,
you have Oracle. You have a Oracle, right? Yeah, I think you might have worked on tables, MySQL
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
right? So your
yeah.
data looks in the table. Is in hard disk it stored as a table or stored as a flat files? In the table spaces, it load as a
Just,
files only, right?
yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say here. For you,
okay.
when you're viewing through Hive, when you're accessing through Hive, it looks like a table. But at the bottom, the original storage is flat files.
In the HDFS.
HDFS, whenever I say HDFS, is the flat files only, no?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining.
Yeah.
Any other question? Please go ahead. Manohar?
Ravi,
Yeah, please.
I mean, in the relational databases and in the HDFS, the data is stored as the same flat files, right?
Hmm.
I mean, in relational database, it stores bits and bytes and the flat file. So then what is the difference? Like, I mean, why we are going with Hive?
So there is a huge difference, Manohar. To understand the differences, there is in initial sessions we discussed. RDBMS is a sequential process. Hadoop is a parallel process. When it comes to Hadoop, you have a fault tolerant, which is not there in Hive, SQL RDBMS systems. RDBMS systems we use for the different purpose, and Hadoop and big data components we use for the different purpose.
Okay.
In Hadoop we have something called data locality, which is not there in SQL. And RDBMS systems are we cannot easily scale out,
Okay.
where Hadoop can be scale out easily. So there are multiple differences are there.
Okay. Okay. I'll go with that. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So what is the uses of this? So whatever we have discussed so far, that's the uses. The Hive is not really designed for OLTP, as I said earlier. The Hive is designed for OLTP. Sorry, OLAP, not for OLTP. It is designed for OLAP. Okay. So earlier versions it was not supporting the updates and the deletes. Try to remember. Earlier versions it was not supporting updates and deletes. The recent versions of the Hive it started supporting. We'll call as ACID properties. We'll call it as ACID properties. It started supporting. Okay. Hive is not PL SQL. Hive is not PL SQL. I mean, it is not why it is exactly RDBMS, because it has so many differences. We'll discuss about one by one, so you will be easily come to know. The Hive is more purpose of this is like for OL, this one ETL kind of operations we do. Okay, how it will work? Let me. Hive also provides the table structure as we discussed. We will create a tables on Hive. Hive is nothing but tables and views or indexes, such kind of things only we will deal with the Hive, not the flat files. Hive is an interface to provide a structure, or a tool to provide a structure or data which is there in HDFS, right? Here there are two type of tables. There are actually four tables. There are two type of tables, two type and four tables. One is managed type. One is managed tables. Other one is external type. Okay, so managed is which is managed by Hive. External is means it will not be having full control for Hive. I'll show you the difference. Okay, before understanding the tables, let's understand how Hive works. How Hive works. So I have a HDFS file. I told you that it provides the structure on it, correct? I'll provide that file. It will provide the structure. It means it will provide the table. Whenever you create a table, the table will have the metadata. This table will have a metadata. Let's say this is a file of employee file is there, and this is employee table. Okay, when you have a, whenever you call whichever the database or whichever the RDBMS system it is, for every table there will be metadata. Yes or no? This table will have a metadata or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So what is the metadata?
The
What
data
is the
is in like
metadata?
bits and bytes.
No, data about the data, not bits and bytes. I mean, it may store as a bits and bytes. The data about the data, like a table name, like a column names, like we have a constraint and constraints and data types. Data types. As I told you before, if you are using any Saradi and column order, which column comes first, which column comes next, and all that order. And if you have a specific database name, DB names, and some other information, who is the user, who created that information. These are all called metadata. Suppose if I want to query employee saying that get the employees whose salary is greater than 10,000, how we will write a query? We will write a query such a way that select employee name from employee table where sal greater than 10,000. Correct? When I write this query, this query has to go and execute on top of the table. When I write this query, try to remember this is quite important. When I write the query like this, it has to go and run on top of the data which is there in HDFS through Hive. Correct? Yes or no? Because it has to run on the data which is there in HDFS only. Ultimately, it has to run this process on the data which is there in HDFS. Yes or no? To process that file, I should know what is this table. I should know what is this column. I should know what is this employee name. Right? This information I need, right? What is the employee name, salary? What is this employee? This information I should know, right? Then only I can go and get. Without knowing this information, what column you are referring employee name, what column you are referring salary, or what you are referring employee in the HDFS. I'm talking with respect to HDFS. HDFS is just a plain flat file. It's a plain flat file like this file. Suppose if I go to directory here, so like this one of the file, So in this file, how will I know which is employee, which is the text, or which is the salary, or how will I know that? You're getting my point, what I'm trying to explain? Yes, no?
Yeah.
So this is my data. How will I know which column, which field I'll call as employee name, which field I call as a salary, which field I'll call as something else? How will I know that? But the flat file will not be knowing, no?
Yeah.
The flat file will not be knowing any information. Everyone is agree or not?
Yes.
Yes.
In the flat file, you will never know. To know that information, we should have one wrapper on top of that. Which is a metadata. That metadata tells that, hey, first comma is employee ID, second comma is employee name, third comma is something. So you will have some kind of information. That information is your metadata. With the help of this metadata, your Hive will go to the file. And process. If you don't have a metadata, it cannot process, because Hive does not have capability to understand the metadata information without external metadata. I mean, there is a 3 type of metadata. We'll talk about that. Hive alone does not have capability to understand what is this column name, what is this data type, what is this table name, what is this that capability is not there. For that, Hive depends on the metastore. What is the metastore? A new terminology. What is the metastore? Very simple, guys. Whatever the metadata we have here, right? Whatever this metadata we have, right? Who stores this information? That is metastore. Hive will not store it in it. We will not store this information in HDFS. We will not store this metadata information in HDFS. We will not store this metadata information in Hive. We will store this metadata information in some external storage. That external storage is nothing but metastore. There are 3 type of metastores. One is embedded. Other one is local. Third one is remote. So what is this metastore? All are RDBMS only. All are RDBMS only. It can be embedded system or embedded RDBMS system. It can be local RDBMS system. It can be remote RDBMS system. So why should I go with RDBMS system, sir? Very simple, as we discussed earlier. If you store information in a table, easy to access, easy to manage, easy to process. So this metastores is, when I say RDBMS, you guys know, right? It can be any database. It can be MySQL, it can be Oracle, it can be Postgres, it can be your Derby, any database, any database, any database system. Okay, anything. Okay, it can be. Actually, when it comes to embedded, embedded means, okay, I'll explain what one by one. But for now, when you talk about the embedded means it comes along with the Hive. You really no need to externally install it. It comes along with the Hive. It's attached with the Hive. That is Derby. It is attached with the Hive. That is Derby. Others cannot be used here. Others can be used here. But when it comes to embedded, it's a Derby. There is something called Apache DB Derby. It's called actually DB Derby. DB Derby. It's a database. It's Apache database. You can use MySQL, you can use Oracle, you can use Postgres or whatever different databases you can use. Okay. So this metadata information we will store in one of the RDBMS tables or RDBMS system. So whenever you write this query, right, select this, first it will go to the metastore, understand the metadata information about that table, then it will go to the file system, then it will apply the query. It actually internally uses the MapReduce code and applies. Do you guys understand the flow of Hive? Your query, Hive will go metastore. Once understand the metastore, then it will go to the table or the file. Is this clear for everyone? If you didn't, please ask me, I'll repeat it. Is everyone silent? Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear, Vida.
Ravi, one
So,
question, Ravi.
please.
Maybe it may be irrelevant, but who will write these metadata information, or how this metadata information written and stored in Metastore?
So whenever you write your create statement or whenever you write your alter statement, whenever you create a table, so automatically that information will be loaded into the Hive metastore. We are not going to write it. That will be taken care by your Hive engine. Okay. So as soon as you execute your Hive query, like a create table, create this, then that time this metadata information will be right into the respective tables. These metastores will already have some tables. I'll show you that. When you create your metastore, right? When you create your metastore, it will create with some tables. I'll explain that. I'll show you also in your setup when you do this setup. So you guys may need to do the setup by tomorrow, okay, or by day after tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be having exam. Okay. So very simple setup. Again, download, extract, set the class path. Download, extract, set the class path, load the MySQL jar file into library. I'll show you that. I'll have a video and I'll show you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, look at here. These are the limitations. It is not a RDBMS system. It is not designed for OLTP. Okay, we cannot do that row level updations, row level deletions kind of thing. We cannot do. So those are limitations. The features of this, it stores the schema. Metadata is nothing but schema in a database and process the data in HDFS. It stores the metadata information in the database, data process in HDFS. So why it is? I can load my metadata information that HDFS itself. No. If you load your metadata information in the HDFS, it should go as a file. Processing file is tougher than processing data which is in RDBMS. Yes or no? I have data in RDBMS. It's easy to access, easy to manage. If I have the same in the form of file in the file system, it's a very little difficult. That's the reason. It is actually designed for OLAP. Okay. This is anyway, I have already discussed. This provides SQL kind of language, which is HQL, Hive query language. Okay, so yeah, this is little background. So it is started at Facebook. So your queries will be like this. Same is similar. It looks same as your SQL. Looks same as your SQL. Most of them looks same as your SQL. Okay, it not exactly support all your SQL, but a few of them it will be supported. All arithmetic operations or string operations or all other will be supported. There are no subqueries will be not supported, but there is other way to use a subqueries. I will show you that. Okay. You can. This is the architecture how it looks. The Hive is on top of HDFS and Hadoop only. Without Hadoop services started, you cannot use the Hive. Okay. So these are different components in the Hive. One is Metastore, which I have already explained you, and it will be having a driver and other stuff, because if you want to connect to this database, we should have the driver, executor, optimizer, compiler. All these things are required. And this Hive you can access through a terminal that's called command line. You can access through that web interface like Hue. We will see that there is a thrift service. So you can suppose I have a Java application. From the Java application, I want to connect to your Hive. From my Java application, I want to connect to your Hive. So there is something called thrift services will be provided. With the help of the JDBC, I can connect to the thrift service. I can read the data. I can process it. Command line is nothing but your MySQL workbench. So how your MySQL prompt, how we did MySQL prompt. Similarly, we have a Hive prompt. Web is nothing but you might have using tools like workbench, SQL workbench, or there are some SQL developer. Similar kind of UI will be there where you type your query and execute. But for the Hive also has such kind of UI. It supports thrift services. How your RDBMS system is connecting to normal Java systems and how we are processing the data. Similarly, your this also process similar kind of thing. Metastore is the information where it stores, the metadata information where it stores. Any query about the architecture? Any doubts? Any questions about the architecture? Any questions? No? Guys, please respond. If you guys are silent, I'll get a doubt whether they are understanding or whether they are able to follow or not.
Yeah,
Please
good.
respond. And I will get a doubt like whether you are in front of the system or not. I'll get some doubt like whether they just logged in and they went to do other work. I'll get that doubt as well. Please respond.
Good. Yeah, it's good, Ravi.
Okay. Next, you can see this. This is how that components works. I'll explain in detail. I'll explain very detail. This is the Hive query. You'll write your query either through web, whether through queries or whatever that. Then those queries will be parsed and plan the physical plan and logical plan and physical plan. The plans will be executed using MapReduce. This MapReduce, whatever you're doing, this MapReduce on top of the HDFS only. If you have any SRDs, it uses those SRDs. Before that, actually to process the data, you should get from the Metastore. It'll get from the Metastore. Okay, so these are the different components. We'll talk about these components a little later. I just want to make you understand. Do you guys understand what is a Hive? What is a Metastore? Okay. Yes, no?
Yeah. Yes, I understood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Very good.
Can you explain a bit more about this local and remote RDBMS?
I'll explain. Not
Later.
yet come to
Okay,
that
no
point.
problem.
Yes,
No
later,
problem.
later. So we have a separate slide for that.
Gotcha.
Metadata. This is the Metastores. Look at here. This is a simple diagram which is self-explanatory for each and every type of mode of your metastore. Embedded which comes along with the Hive. Local, the same machine where your Hive is running, we will run separate Hive engine. Sorry, RDBMS
Gotcha.
engine.
Yeah.
Remote is something different. We'll talk in the detail about it. Okay. Okay. Now one more point I want to bring to your notice that whatever the Hive table you were saying, Hive table, that is nothing but a folder in HDFS. Here, Hive table is nothing but a folder in HDFS. Folder in HDFS. Here rows are data, whatever the data you are loading. Data in the table is nothing but here the files. Here the files. Okay. Here the flat files. Okay. So as I said, there are two type of tables, right? Managed and external. Managed and external. Managed and external, or some people call internal and external. Managed and external. It manages by Hive. Full control on Hive. It means when you create a managed table, and also it's a default, guys. Okay, we need to understand this. If you create any table in Hive, by default it's managed until unless you explicitly say it's external. I'll show you how to do. So managed table, it manages by Hive. It means whenever you create a table, I told you, right, there will be two parts of it: metadata and actual data. Metadata, actual data. Where metadata will be there? In metastore. Correct? Which is nothing but RDBMS, any of the RDBMS.
Yes.
Where this actual data will be there?
HDFS.
So when you create a table, by default it's a managed table. The table's metadata information will go to here. The actual data, whatever your data you are referring, that will be in HDFS. When you drop this table, means you have done your work and you don't want to continue with that data, you want to drop it. When you drop the managed table, this will be deleted and this also will be deleted. Data will be deleted from the metadata. Actual data also will be deleted from the HDFS, and table information also will be deleted. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
The metadata, the schema information will be deleted, and also data information also will be deleted. When it comes to the external, same. When you create a table here also the same process. Metadata contains the metadata. Metadata will go to metastore. That is like your RDBMS. The actual data will go to HDFS. HDFS or S3 or whatever it is, whatever you refer. Okay. Here also it can be S3, whatever it is. So when you drop this data, when you drop this table, only metadata will be deleted. The data will be remain same. It means your Hive does not have a full control on this table. It is external. It is not internal. It is external to your Hive, but it is also Hive table only. But the Hive treat this as a external. So you have to use external as a keyword while creating a table. You have to use external as a keyword while creating a table. I'll show that. We will be having some set of commands. We will be seeing them. Do you guys understand the difference between the managed and external?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the most important interview question. If anyone asking you Hive questions, the first they will ask what is the difference between the managed and external. What is the managed and external? Some people ask what is a metastore. How many types of the metastores? I mean, actually, we can call as the modes, different modes of the metastore. Different modes of the metastore: embedded mode, local mode, remote mode. And what is the Hive? People may ask what is the Hive. So from today's discussion, people may ask the very first basic question: what is Hive? What is metastore? Modes of metastore. Modes means you have to tell differences. Okay, local, embedded, and remote. Different tables, different types of tables. Different types of table, which is external and managed. What will happen when you drop the table? Okay. So people may ask about Saturday and also, but we'll discuss about them later. So what else they can ask? Yeah. So that's it. What is Hive? What is the metastore? Modes of metastore. Different type of table. Why should I use RDBMS as metastore? Why should I use RDBMS as metastore? Than a flat file, than HDFS or flat file. Okay, so you guys has answer for that. Okay, these are the 5 questions people may ask from today's session. Most important session today. If you guys have any questions, please go through this session once again, understand what is Hive. So now onwards is completely depends on the today's discussion only, today's understanding only, I mean to say.
Okay.
And also people may ask when to use external, when to use manage. Now you have answer.
Okay.
Suppose that the data should not be deleted. Suppose the data should not be deleted. The data should be used by other applications or other people. We should go with external. If the data is using for only Hive, we are no longer required after the process. We can go with the manage. We'll talk in detail, but for now, the high level information. Yeah, go ahead. Someone has a question. Please go ahead. Someone was asking some question.
Peter, so like in Oracle and other RDBMS, right? So we'll be able to query the metadata information about all the tables. Likewise, do we have any such table here to query the info that is present in the metastore?
Yes, we can query. We can log into your MySQL database or your
Okay.
Oracle database, whatever the metastore you are using. You can refer your database. You can go inside the show tables. You can query the tables. If you drop the tables, your metastore will not be work, but it should not. So you can view. I'll
But
show
how
that.
can like which RDBMS we are using for storing our metadata information?
We will be having that information. No, without having that information, how will Hive work? In the Hive, there is a site XML. How we have a core site, HDFS site, a scoop site, what we have seen so far, right? Similarly, there will be something called Hive site XML,
Okay.
Hive-site XML. In that XML, we will specify all this information. What is the RDBMS table? What is the database name? What is the username? What is the password? That information we will keep in that.
Okay.
Any other question?
Hello, Veera. This is Pradeep.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, Veera. Actually, since this Hive is belongs to Facebook, right? So, do we need to pay any license
No,
fees or anything? No.
no, it's
Okay.
open source.
Is there any other? Okay. All the updated versions will be available. It will be open,
No,
right? Till.
everything is available. It's a lifetime available, free open source. It's given to the Apache, so it is available with Apache.
Okay.
You can download from Apache also.
Okay.
Okay, you guys can try installation. I'll provide the document for that installation, or you can refer our YouTube channel. You can refer our channel. In this channel, we have setup document. Setup Ubuntu setup. In this Ubuntu setup, the setup Hadoop setup in Ubuntu. You have installation for Hive. It's not there. A Hive installation. You can refer this. So maybe in this installation steps, I might have shown to how to install MySQL also, but MySQL we have already installed, so we don't need a MySQL. We don't need to install again the MySQL. Same MySQL can be used for our as an RDBM as a Metastore. Okay, refer this, or I'll also provide some more document. I think it's already there with you guys. I don't know how many of you seen it. There is something called anyone knows that how to get rid of this the icons. When I'm sharing my screen here, there is a icons which are not actually is blocking my view. I don't know. I need to see. Okay, so any
I
questions,
think the
guys?
favorites. I think favorites. Veera, that is related to favorites, right?
Which
Those are
is
related
related
to
to
favorites. No?
no, not this one, not
No.
this one.
Uh,
You will not be seeing these icons. It's not visible for you. It is visible for only you. Or when you are sharing your
uh,
screen, it will be there on your screen also.
okay.
But anyway, let's see. I'll find some way for this. Okay, any questions? Okay,
No
that's
questions.
it for now.
No questions
Let's
from me.
connect
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.